Nga tumaliriza okutambula kwaffe okwenjawulo Mulango sub-region twakomereza ne district okuli eya Amorata, Kwanya wamu ne Apache ze districts ezitwasobola okuba nga tukomekereza nazo. Mwalimu ebintu bingi naddala Amorata ewali amasekati ga Uganda nate tugenda tulabe Amorata nga wafaana n'oluvannyuma tugende Kwanya wali ebintu bingi bitwasobola okulaba nate tukomekereze ne Apache gye twasobola okuba nga tulaba batukyalira n'entaana yali omukulembeze w'eggwanga Apollo Milton Obote we yawummuzibwa oluvannyuma lw'okuba nga yava mu bulamu bw'ensi eno. Nabyo tugenda kuba nga tubiraba batubulire biki ebintu bimuntu byali badde osaanya okuba nga ajja akola mu district zino. Jjukira tuli Mulango sub-region mwe tusembye amakanda gaffe mwe tugezezzaako okuba nga ate tulambula eggwanga Uganda olunaku olwaleero. Katukomewo temuvaawo.
I'm called Ayoka Teddy, the Principal Commercial Officer for Amorata District. I'm so grateful that today you are in Amorata District. This is an exercise that we had so much longed for. We had not yet done the exercise of profiling our tourism site, so we are so privileged today at least to have you in the district. I know it will give us a step ahead. This is one of the tourism sites we have in the district, and the core, the major one, that is the center of Uganda. In Uganda, when you put your GPS from the north to south, then east to west, the center lands here in Abako, which is in Amorata district. Abako village, which is in Namasale sub-country, Amorata district. This place, at the moment, the major exercise that is being done here is the prayer altar. That is all the religions in the country. They always converge here in September the 14th and they hold their reconciliation prayer. This is very important for our spiritual life, and this has made a lot of reconciliations. People are really forgiving each other when we meet here, and really we are gaining our peace. Above all, this is also a commercial area. We only need to invest in this place. I'm kindly calling for government and our development partners to take keen interest in this area. We have land. However, our challenge here is at the local level, the process of making memorandum of understanding with the foundation body that is owning this land, that is Church of Uganda. We are trying to move on, but we are not beating the time, and we are really requesting the foundation body to really be in understanding with government so that government can extend a hand to ensure that this place is developed and really benefit the district and the country as a whole. What I can advise at the moment to government, now that we are still moving with the process of the MOU and is a little slow, advising we get land which is nearer here so that we can start on the process. We develop the area. Prayers is always here, but there are a lot of challenges. We don't have even fresh water. People are suffering, even ablutions. We have only some few pits around here, and yet is 56 tribes that converge here for the prayers. All the tribes, in Uganda, and all the denominations. We have very many religions, and when it comes to that time, this compound is flooded with people, and really where congestion is there and there are no those services is really hard. So this is a great opportunity for the country. I request us, the partners and government, to really ensure this place is developed so that we really be in business, serve our people, and develop the economy of this country. When they gather here, there are around 5,000 people in September, always yearly, for the national prayer. We have food vendors. They are always here to provide services to the Christians that are praying here. They transport people en route. They always transport people daily. There are people who come and move back home. As well, there are others who always reside here. And when it's that day, you'll always get tent all over here, parkings. They can be many days, but they start on September, depending on the programs that the church has drawn. Can be even the whole week. At the moment, we have only signpost. We have a signpost at entrance. Amolatar is an interlacustrine region. It's a peninsula. We are in between two lakes, and we have only one entry point. That is Ochir Rock. And the moment you're in Ochir Rock, you'll always see our signpost for center of Uganda. So when you reach there, automatically, reaching here is not a problem. You can come even that side of the ferry. We have one signpost there. So after landing from the ferry, you'll see center of Uganda and the kilometers and direction. At least you can reach here. But it is in our plan that when we conclude with the process of the MOU, we'll be in position to put a better billboard here that will direct people appropriately to the area. This one was put up in 2013 by Church of Uganda.
The stone you are inquiring about was put there by God. When my father came here in 1951, we found that stone was there. It was named Kidi Aboni because the wife of the then chief called Odora, the wife was called Aboni. So the wife wanted her husband to make people carry that stone at their home for her, for grinding her millet. But the stone was so heavy that could not be carried to their home. So the stone was left there. The stone is no longer there. It was used by these, how can I call them? These priests, Aduku Catholic. It was used for building this cathedral at Aduku Catholic priest parish. That was around 1960s when they were building that. In Protestant we call it church, but how do the Catholic, they call it what? The cathedral. So they destroyed that stone and took it for building that church. And that was the end of that stone. This place is named Angiokoma by our late father, called Pilipo Roro, who was a county chief. The place where the stone was a pass-through for animals from Kidepo Forest in Karamoja, crossing going to join what? National Park. That is where the stone was called Kidabone was found. And this place from Aduku to Gomblanambieso was isolated. People were not here because there were too many animals. All these wild animals were here. The buffaloes, the lions, the hippos, all these animals were here. And when it comes to around 3 to 4:30, you could not now pass this place going to Gomblanambieso because of these wild animals. So when our father came here in 1951, this place was not, people were not here. He was the first person to come and build here. So he started calling people one by one to come and settle here. In 1952-53, these animals started moving away because the people around, the locals were hunting them with arrows and bows and spears. And my father, being the county chief of that area, he acquired guns. He had 3 guns. He had shotguns for bird, and then the small rifles for these animals, and then the big one for the elephants. So he was killing those animals, and the animals started running away from here. And of course, the small stones around Kidabone there, when you are going for hunting, the leaders could pick the small stones around Kidabone there when they go hunting. That could help them to kill the animals without the animals attacking them. And that thing continued up to late 60s, around 66, 67 there. But by then there were still few animals like buffaloes, Uganda cobs were there, antelopes, pigs. But the people around kept on killing them for meat. When that stone was destroyed by the priests for building the church, that was the end of the path where the animals used to pass. But some of them still escaped from Kidepo National Park, and when they are going to join the national park there, some of them still pass through their route there where the stone was.
My name is Odiek John Peter. I'm the grandchild of this Mzee who was known as Ruot. In Lango, Ruot means chief. Actually, he was the chief of all the chiefs in Lango. He was like what Uganda would call Sabatak. He ruled Lango in the traditional way, and he resisted the coming of the British. In his resistance, as a fighter, he attracted the interest of Kabalega, that is the Mwanga, no, Kabalega of Bunyoro, who was an associate of, who was also a friend of Kabaka Mwanga of Uganda. Actually, he assisted both of them in fighting against the British, coming of the British to interfere with their rule. When Kabalega felt the forces coming against him was too much, he heard about the strength of this Lango chief who used to fight using spears with these troops. So he invited him in Bunyoro to go and help him fight against the whites. So when he went there, he struggled a lot with his men. He defeated the wars. I don't know whether to call them battles or wars by that time. But he managed to save Kabalega many times from the influence of the British. Until later, when the British mobilized themselves, of course with the guns are more superior than the spears, but still they didn't give up. They withdrew together with Kabalega, Mwanga, Kabalega of Bunyoro, Mwanga of Uganda. He became their good friends. He became the friend of the good friend of those two because he protected them. He hid them here in Lango. But the British made efforts and weeded them out from the current Dokolo, an area in Dokolo where they were got. The place is called Kangai, where they were got. And Mwanga was taken to prison together with Kabalega. From there, I think the British got scared that the kingdoms, the two kingdoms, would come and look for their leader. So they had to transfer them to Seychelles Island in Indian Ocean. That's where Kabaka died from. And Kabalega tried coming back to his kingdom. He died from Mpumu the Hills in Jinja. Now, the relationship between Ruot, that is the chief, Owinyakulu. Owinyakulu was his name. Owinyakulu helped a lot, and on realizing the efforts of Owinyakulu in Bunyoro, he was rewarded with gifts. The gifts included potato vines that he brought in sacks and distributed throughout Lango. So he was the one who introduced potato vines in Lango. And in addition to that, he brought in also hundreds of pigs and distributed in Lango. So he was again the one who introduced pigs in Lango. He was also rewarded with guns and even beautiful women for himself and for his troops. and even people were given to come and work for him. They cannot be called slaves because he didn't capture them, but they were given as friends. I mean, given to them, to him as a reward from Kabalega. So as you see, this home here was surrounded by many huts. Those huts included where he would, it is the place where he would include, I mean, he would host his guests and friends who could come in. They could be hosted there. And his servants and workers were also stationed here. He would sustain them. He would look after their welfare because he treated them as his people. I've made efforts to maintain this place and also to maintain his name and status as the chief from year 2012. That was when I printed a calendar. That calendar attracted many interests. And I also wrote I made some write-up and sent to New Vision. New Vision people got interested. They put it on the paper, plus this picture, this photo, and the house. And this reached the knowledge of Language Association of North America, LAONA. So those people made efforts. They had a feeling that they should develop cultural areas in Lango. So they chose this house, and the one of Ruot Ogwanguji is northeast of Lira, in a place called Akia. So they had the interest to turn this place into a museum because they would make the structures, the falling structures, in place, and they maybe would paint inside pictures that would be in a museum, showing how Langese used to behave, how they used to cook, how their life in general, how they used to fight, and others. So that plan somewhere stopped on the way because of one reason or another, but it was beyond my control. So those people picked interest. I mean, as they had picked interest, they changed their move. From here, they moved to Roto Gwanguji. Before completing their plans from here, they moved to Roto Gwanguji's house. And if you have a chance to go there, you'll find, you find the structure is stronger than this because they have done something. Here, we're just trying to make efforts, as you have seen stones, those boulders. We're trying to fit back here. Of course, slowly, because there are no funds, there are no resources. We're struggling through thick and thin to mobilize resources. There are those stones, and sand is somewhere behind. I don't know whether that side. In an attempt to, at least to, this timber here is a seasoned timber that was fitted those days of this construction, 1935, and it has stood the test of time. We don't want to disturb the roof, but we want to, because the structure should look as it is. We want to fit the windows and doors that were removed during insurgency so that the structure remains strong. But the interest is that our grandfather's structure must remain as it is, or as it was before it got in this state.
ya mubadde balabe lungi okuva gye twatandikidde kansubire nti olugendo lwaffe lw'ennaku 8 olulabye kansubire nti bingi byoyizeemu wano wekubira omulanga ne nkugamba nti ke kaseera ate naawe ogezeeko okuba nga olambula eggwanga Uganda nga bwe lufaanana tugezezzaako okuba nga tukulambuza Lango Sub-region nga bwefaanana era kansubire nti bingi byolabe era ne nkubira omulanga ne nkugamba kano ke kaseera naawe ofune obudde ogende olambule Lango Sub-region obeeko ebintu bingi byakola ki byoyiga nakugambye nti olunaku lwaffe lwatandika ddala lunaku lwokusatu tumaze wiiki kumpi namba nga tulambula region eno tulabye tourism nga wafaina tulabye sites ez'enjawulo naye nga kaweefuba ono yenna abamuwomya omutwe aba Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities bagezaako kubanga balambula ebifo bino ogezaako kubikulaakulanya bakusikirize ate naawe obigende ng'olambula ebifo bino history mungi abasinga obulungi musoma mu SST geography oba n'ebintu ebirala naye ke kaseera naawe ate obeere ng'olaba eggwanga nga bwe lufaanana njagala okwebaza ekitongole kya Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities ekyatusobozesezza okuba nga ate tulambula eggwanga Uganda naddala Lango Sub-region bingi betusobodde okuba nga tukuletera kansubira bingi byolabye byoyize sigenda kubanga nsingako lunaku lwaliro njagala okubeerekereza ne mbaagaliza okulaba Star TV ne program y'omulambuzi musule bulungi mweraba.